Next, from Paris, Illinois, we take a tour of the community's new high school, a $40 million facility that opened in August 2015, replacing an old school that had no campus and was built nearly 100 years ago. The new high school is also an illustration of cooperation between two school districts, which went together to afford a new facility, one where students could attend a school that is now state-of-the-art in high school education. The new high school is another example, too, of how the relatively small community of Paris had been transforming itself with new schools, a new health clinic, and attracting major employers to the area, and all of this as the result of the community coming together in a team effort. Where the old school did not have a campus and students had to travel across town to go to their football field for practice, the new high school sits on 68 acres with a state-of-the-art football field, track field, with tennis courts, baseball fields, and a cross-country track that takes runners across open fields and through woods. And indoors, the school offers athletic competition in a massive new gymnasium that seats 2,400 and sports a new weight room developed with community donations from a number of organizations. Donations are one of the key elements in making this new school affordable. In fact, the city donated the 68 acres the school sits on, saving the districts millions of dollars in land cost. The Illinois Channel recently took a tour of this modern facility to see what it offers and how it reflects not only the educational needs of students everywhere, but also reflects the needs of a rural community. Interim Principal Lorraine Daly gave us a tour of the high school and also shared some of the thoughts that went into the school's design so that it reflected the needs of her community.
This room was I think reflects how education has changed in its design. This is an ag room in our vocational area, and it's set up with the sinks so that they can do projects, hands-on projects. But if you notice, all the tables and chairs are movable, so different arrangements can be done. Then connected to this is the ag bay. And while this is probably pretty typical of an ag bay, we put in large overhead doors so they can bring in large pieces of equipment to work on in classes, and the oil drains and everything. So looks like this is a welding classroom in which students learn the 4 different types of welding and do hands-on. We have a company here in the community, GSI, that does a lot with welding, and hopefully we will have our students ready, career ready for them upon graduation.
In this class, we design, we create, we produce, and we have a good time while we do it. We use textiles, different fabrics, different fibers, and we really try to experiment and learn about the principles of those and how to make useful things that help them express their creativity. They are learning basic life skills. They are learning the psychology and the sociology behind clothing choices so that they can make better choices. But they also learn life skills that they can use on a regular basis, how to construct garments, but also how to repair garments, and how to create things for their home or for general use in their home and in their future. I believe it's something very worthwhile that all students really could benefit from.
Or they may want to be a clothing designer.
They could be, and I have former students that are in class, in college for that right now, and I have some former students that have actually pursued that dream and have actually designed items and have their own websites with their own designs.
This is another classroom in our vocational wing. This one is a lot of your underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores will be in here. And there are actual modules that they will go through. There's like a robotics arm, there's a plastic infusion model, there's the mechanical, the electrical, and they learn at each one of those stations through the modules, and then they can either further their education in a particular area of interest, or they can leave with basic knowledge to go out. A vocational room, this one concentrates on woods. It has a complete vacuum system. That's actually the vacuum itself is located outside. If you notice, again, all these rooms have these large overhead doors so that we can get equipment in, supplies in. This is a CNC router over on the side. A lot of the students will actually do the drafting down in the CAD room, and then they will bring that design and run it here on the machine. I think the vocational fits our community needs. We try to do everything. We're a traditional high school, so we try to do the college ready, but we also try to provide a program to send students out the door career ready. And I would agree, a lot of high schools, because of the cost of these type of programs, they are eliminating them, or the need isn't there, but there will always be the need for this type, and we're trying to have our students ready for it.
Well, and to me, who didn't grow up in an agricultural community, but this shows, it kind of stands out, that this education, aside from the standard, that you have the ag room, you have some of these, because if kids are going to work on the farm, they got to know how to repair a tractor, or things that you wouldn't do in an urban environment, and you're giving them the skills that reflect the community.
I would agree, yes. We're trying to exactly provide the students with the skills that they need to live and work in our community. And hopefully these programs are reflective of what our community is. These lockers were built by Lyons Metal, which is, Lion does lockers throughout the whole U.S., and they're located right here in our community. So they are the ones who designed all of our lockers and installed them. This is our culinary arts room, kitchen units, full kitchen units, to where students actually do hands-on learning experiences.
How do you decide, you know, you have the ag room, you have so many of the tool rooms, you have this room, the culinary arts. How do you decide when you're designing the building to reflect your curriculum, you know, what you're going to include to decide to have this room?
Once again, we looked at our community and tried to design the high school to meet the needs of our community.
Would this prepare people, maybe students, just to go out into the restaurant business, to go out into
They can
some area
actually
of
earn
cooking?
their sanitary license through one of our classes that makes them already licensed, prepared to go out. A lot of what they do is just skills that they can use in their own life, in their own home, that they learn here to do. It's built, you'll notice there's electrical outlets in the floor, so recharging stations for computers, phones. All the furniture is movable. Once again, this is a unit that can actually turn around the screen so you can have a class. If you notice, there's windows on each side. Those all go to computer labs. And the idea is, again, the collaborative spaces to where students can go to work. This is a STEM lab, science, technology, engineering, and math. It was designed specifically for both classroom work and independent studies. This is the wet side of the STEM lab, and if you notice, it's open ceiling. It's done that way intentionally so that experiments can be hung from the rafters and we'll support it. It's got pull down electrical, gas and water at all the permanent stations, but once again, all the furniture is movable so that it can be transported as needed. This is a 3D printer. They can design projects that can then print out in three-dimensional form. We've had some students do independent study, and they actually did the knee socket. They were doing an independent study on that. They want to go into the medical field, so they actually designed a knee socket and was able to make that on the 3D printer as part of their project to study.
So you've obviously combined so much, you've given thought to having rooms that are relatively unique in high schools across the country, but ones that reflect your agricultural community. And yet, on the other hand, you're looking toward the future because 3D printing and that technology is fairly brand new.
Relatively
and a sign
new,
of the
yes.
future.
Yes.
So it's not like you're shortchanging the kids to be nothing more than, that if they leave the agricultural community, they'll be lost. They're getting a full, well-rounded education.
Yes, they are. They have the opportunity to leave exactly with that. We've got to have kids both ready to enter the collegiate area as well as that college. Kids have become very protective of this school and anyone that abuses it. They want to keep it nice, and they work to see that it is. They will take care of it themselves, and they see that other people also take care of it.
The school offers students a music room, but one of the great surprises at Paris High School is the Paris Center for the Fine Arts, which now offers the entire community a location for holding lectures, corporate meetings, but most importantly, the ability to host professional stage productions.
I'm Kristen Chittick. Welcome to the Paris Center of Fine Arts.
It offers seating for over 500 people with professional lighting and all the curtain and set cabling one needs for the production of Broadway-type stage plays.
So it's really a 513-seat theater, which is ample for some great productions, whether it's the community or whether we bring in Branson shows, whether we bring in shows from America's Got Talent, which we did last year. We've got The View coming, a show from The View this year. So we've got really some great lineup of things.
In a major metropolitan area, a high school such as we see in Paris, Illinois, may be commonplace. But the people of Paris are representative of many other communities across the state, smaller communities who face challenges unknown in larger urban areas. What the leaders in Paris, Illinois demonstrate is the ability to work together to a common purpose, with the city donating the land, 2 school districts joining together to help pay for one new high school, and the planning for a facility that not only brings world-class education to their students, but with their Center for the Fine Arts, offers new opportunities for the entire community. In Paris, Illinois, I'm Terry Martin for the Illinois Channel.